Okay, let's do this.
Maybe.
Let's see. Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing today, Clown?
I'm doing all right. I'm a little nervous, but I'm all right.
No, it's all good. I mean, I'm not gonna be like evil or anything like that. I just finished the video just now, looked at some stuff, and yeah, like I
Mhm.
thought, I would just have some questions.
Yeah.
So
What's up?
yeah, so regarding some of the Feghost stuff, right?
hmm
What would be your reasoning for not getting involved around the time? I guess.
What do you mean specifically?
So when like Chuuli dropped the videos, what was your specific reasoning for not dropping a video as well?
I deplatformed myself at the time. Um, because of stuff. I deplatformed myself around 2020. It was mainly because of all the stuff that happened regarding like the DeviantArt ranting community being exposed, and there were like some issues that I knew I needed to address, and I thought they were like way worse than they actually were. So I made a video called "Taking Accountability," and I essentially just had no platform at that point. Um, so I didn't really have like a place to go or I didn't really think at the time, which I understand, like, in retrospect, that was probably, like, not smart of me. But I just basically just had no platform to put it at that time since I didn't wanna bring back the old channel, and I just didn't think that through.
So just to kind of be on the same page, when you said that you don't have a platform at that time, did you just were you just not active on it, or was it like not available on YouTube?
The channel is still up, I just logged off and I just left it, because my taking accountability video was basically supposed to be a goodbye, and I basically just, like, ditched the Icy Hazard, persona behind. The channel is still up, um, with, like, some of the video, but I, like, deleted or just unlisted a lot of the videos. Um, so when I mean deplatform, I basically just, like, logged off that channel and just logged off the channel with that email and everything.
I
So I just
see.
left it behind. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Because obviously, I don't know if you've been watching, but I obviously do like feel like it should have not fallen on Chile specifically for the be the one to call it out. I've been like
Oh, yeah, I agree.
remaining with that opinion for a while. I obviously do think
Mhm.
Ponder is the worst out of it because it's like they hired this person as an editor despite everything that like went forward. But
Yeah.
I so yeah, I guess you said that you didn't really have much of a public platform.
Mhm.
When did you return to a public platform? I guess.
That's a good question. I would have to double check when the Klownteeth channel was posted because it was a couple years after. I would have to double check.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, so I made the channel sometime after, but I didn't, like, start posting on it until, like, years after, like, this situation had been said and done. I think, like, the first video was, like, 3 years ago, and it was just, like, a random speed paint. I wasn't even, like, talking. I started posting on, like, the Icy Hazard channel, like, July or no, not July, June 23rd, 2022. So it was after, like, all the stuff with, like, Heaton and everything happened, and, like, obviously, like, my mental health was, like, in the shitter because of, like, all this stuff that happened with Heaton.
I get that. Okay. So just because this is obviously a little bit of an elephant in the room. Just
Mhm.
because I know you addressed it on your community post, but just to get this out of the way, what was your thought process when saying that? I guess just so I fully understand you.
Yeah, it was a complete, flub in the scripting process, and I admit that. It was a lot for me to process having to remember and just, like, look over, like, old screenshots and rewatching the videos. Um, I was also, like, trying to research, like, the other things that were also happening with, like, Junkie and Ponder and all of that. So I think it was a genuine mistake. I was just mixing up, like, oh, sorry.
All good.
Um, I bumped into my table.
It happens.
Um, I genuinely was just, like, mixing up my wording because I was researching, like, multiple subjects who had done, like, far worse at the time. I didn't intend at all for it to be worded like that. I just got, like, I my brain was just, like, getting, like, things confused. while I was like trying to remember this like really like hard like time in my life. It was even now like as I'm trying to like remember stuff, I'm kind of like yeah, I'm like sounding like really shaky and like really like nervous because it's just genuinely like really hard for me to just remember stuff in full detail because of just all that happened because there was just so much that happened.
No, I mean, I
Um
get that. So I guess like the follow-up question naturally that would follow suit with that
yeah.
is if your memory's a little shaky with it, right? I guess
Mhm.
personally, because obviously I personally wouldn't talk about something unless I was able to like 100% be able to factually, confirm it to be true. So I guess my question would be, why would you talk about it if you were still shaky on it, I suppose?
I had delayed the video for like 6 months at this point because of all the new stuff with like Heaton and all the stuff that was going on. So if I knew I didn't get it out now, then it was just gonna take longer, and I just wasn't. I just wanted to try to get the video out it to the best of my ability, despite this. And I thought when I was working on it, I thought I was in a better mindset. Um, Obviously, like I'm really rusty when it comes to making like commentary videos like this. So it was mostly just out of a place of like I knew at the time when I was working on it, I thought I knew 100% what was going on. Um but obviously that wasn't the case, so that was 100% my fault. I should have like taken more of my time with it. It was just a bit of a struggle for me to really just like pinpoint a lot of the stuff that was going on, and I 100% acknowledge that that was a mistake,
Right.
and
So
that I should have just taken more time with that.
to follow with that, right? Just for a public record, because I don't know if everyone would know this, but I'm just curious as well. Did you
Mhm,
ever, because to be fair, right, some of the situations do obviously naturally involve Chile. Did you
mhm.
ever proofread this with Chuuli? Did you ever show any of this things that you were
Mhm.
shaky about or anything like that before publishing or no?
I did not. We due to like personal reasons, I couldn't. We have like a personal thing going on that I won't go into. I don't know if she's here listening to this, but I won't go into it. Um, I had other friends who knew of the situation that I did proofread this to. Proofread the script too, though. In the meantime, so they when they were reading the script or when I was going over stuff with them, they didn't notice anything. I know, like, in retrospect, I probably should have, but because of, like, personal stuff that me and Julie were dealing with, we were just not, speaking to each other at this moment, um so I just kinda did what I could because of the circumstances that I had.
Was it ever possible to potentially delay the project to maybe get to Chile at a later time, or was that not a possibility?
Not I mean, it definitely could have. Um, it was just, because of, like, holiday trips and stuff, I didn't, and because of, like, my personal life, because I work full time, so I was mostly just in the mindset of, like, I wanna try to get this video out and get my thoughts out as in a reasonable time so I can just go into the Christmas holiday without having to worry about this stuff and then just leave it at that. In retrospect, yeah, I could have just probably reached out to Truly. Um, so I understand if that makes the video, like, less credible if that's the case.
Well, I mean, obviously, naturally, the issue that you're going to have is if you have shaky
Mhm.
memory with things, and not just that, like if there's just a couple other details that you're not 100% sure, then
Yeah.
yeah, obviously, right, it does like involve like your credibility a bit. So when people see that you messed up a situation, like you messed up a turn of events, and most of your stuff is recounting through your own testimony, and then now we're also seeing that like a part was obviously like a mistake or like a misremember, it does kind of put the video's like credibility into question, I would say,
Mhm.
when you do that. So that would obviously be like the natural issue that follows suit with that, which is why I would
Mhm.
personally say for sure, like you got to make sure that you're 100% ironed out. I understand that you had holiday trips and personal stuff, and I get that. Like I understand, like scheduling is a bitch. I understand that,
Mhm.
but I'm sure you would much rather a video that's flawless rather than like having to deal with some of the backlash that you've had recently, right?
Was I know, like, there was a video by Opt Blog, but I haven't been on Twitter and I haven't seen it, so I wasn't. wasn't aware of that.
Well, I mean,
Um,
naturally, it's because of like the wording of like the CP thing. There was obviously some people that came to the conclusion. Sure, they not intelligent people, sure, but there were some people that came
mm,
to the conclusion that you were sweeping for someone having CP, and that obviously I don't think is the case. But
mhm.
due to the wording, that is a perception that was spawned from that.
Yeah, and that was a mess up on my part. I didn't intend to word it that way at all, and I apologize for that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I appreciate that. Like you took accountability for that. Obviously, it's good that you're being receptive to this.
Mhm.
I guess to kind of like explain because I don't really fully know with the whole icy hazard stuff because I know you said you're the same person, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, do you want my do you need my lore?
Sure. Yeah, I was gonna ask just for a little bit of background in that because I know you talked about it a little bit with Jar, if you don't mind.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah, I figured because I think in Yen's stream, they said that they were kinda confused on, like, what my backstory was because, yeah, because I intended like, I assumed that most people would, like, know who I was at that point, but that's all fair.
Right.
But yeah, so basically, I joined, the DeviantArt ranting community when I was 16. Um, the channel, I had was basically just like a recolor, like, speed paint channel that I renamed to Icy Hazard, and once I started making, videos of that nature, I basically, hopped on bandwagons against people who were being harassed in the Sonic community, and the easiest way I can explain it is that, there were users like Sonic93 and Amy Chan. If if chat knows those names, you get a veterans discount. Um,
Hmm.
basically, they were like 20-something-year-old people who were going after an artist on DeviantArt named Akai Dahlia for basically just making a Sonic fan character that she was shipping with both Sonic and Shadow, and she looked kinda like Amy Rose, supposedly, because she used, like, a different shade of pink compared to Amy Rose, and it was a huge thing back in the day for a lot of teenagers like me, who lived in, like, dysfunctional households and stuff, and we all just basically made videos regurgitating what these videos made, and mind you, there were, like, it was, like, 4 hours worth of videos made on this one artist,
Yeah.
and so that's how I started. And then when I was 17, around like right as I had turned like 17, I was shaky on the dates, but like when I was like 16 going on 17, I met a group of individuals that were part of the ranting community. The Jar coins them the Heather Pack, so that's just what I'm going to refer to them as because I think that's what they've been publicly known as since the story got outed. But basically they were just a bunch of like a group of like women and girls who would just go after everybody under the sun, whether it was just making like Sonic OCs with big boobs or in some cases literal like autistic children who didn't know any better and they were just harassing them on the daily, which is how Jar got into the picture. Literally the only thing that I know about Jar in my like involvement together was that when he used to go by CEO author, I was involved with the group that group that did harass him, and I won't like deny they did harass him. That's what happened. My involvement though was like pretty much like close to none. I had one bad argument against him. Again, I was 17.
Yeah.
I was just meant to be stupid.
Yeah.
um and then I told him to take a video down because I was being told by who I thought was one of my friends at the time that their private information was being leaked in his video. So I basically just told him to take it down.
Right.
And that's literally all I know that I did to him specifically. Um by the time like there was like a certain event that the group or like the Heather Pack was specifically going after like one of their friends who went by the name Broken Muse, and that's the stress of that situation is what made me dip entirely and then had me like find my new friend group after that. And that's quite literally it. And then if you saw like in my video, I mentioned how Jar and I had like one like short interaction in 2018 that was like at the very least neutral with one another.
Yeah.
And then in 2019, so I was probably by 2019, I was like what, like 21 at this point. By like and then I made a video about Sonic 93 because 2019 was basically the year of Sonic 93's downfall because she was literally harassing children.
Yeah.
Again, long ass fucking story. We don't have enough time for that. But she, yeah, so I made a video on Sonic 93. It was a collab with Feghost, so I took it down for obvious reasons. Um, I've been trying to find it though because I wanted to rewatch it to see if like some of the points still stood. But yeah, but if you saw my video, Jar liked my video, mentions it, and says that he's chill with me. I was like, whoa, that's crazy. And then the rest is history. He makes this video about his experience in 2021, and he was acting like I had never changed at all since my drama in 2017.
Yeah.
Which I can go into. I can go into detail with that if you would like as well.
Well, there was a point that he like mentioned in one of the clips that you showed, and I didn't know really much of the context of it. I know the Elizabeth person or whatever that like I think he defended,
Hmm.
but like I think you made a
Yeah.
point that he was making a video on a kid. I guess like to try to like, explain that, like the 14-year-old I think he was like beefing with, right? Um,
Yeah.
I guess like
Oh yeah,
could
Jinx.
could you explain I guess like the difference with like the Jinx and the Elizabeth thing, I guess, because I'm not too 100% familiar with that.
So basically, Jinx drowned and Princess Elizabeth, they had a feud. That's like the easiest way I could explain it. Like, Princess Elizabeth was public enemy. Jinx was the one who was calling out Princess Elizabeth. So Jinx was considered like the good guy in the conflict. So a
Yeah.
lot of people so a lot of people in the ranting community, specifically like the group of people that harassed him, were siding with Jinx. So Jar's whole part in that debacle was essentially being like, hey, because Jinx, well, yeah, was like calling out Princess Elizabeth. Mind you, they were both 14 years old at this time.
Right.
Jinx was obsessively making journals about Elizabeth from what I can recall and what's been like gathered from like Laka Mocha Laka's video and from what I remember specifically. So Jinx would basically would just not shut the fuck up about Elizabeth, but because Jinx was on the good side with the ranters, they were being praised for it while Elizabeth was being shat on and nobody was defending Elizabeth. So that's when Jar as CEO author stepped in and was like, "Hey, leave Elizabeth alone," which is what made him a target.
I
So
see.
that was the difference because he was basically just like calling out Jinx for being as annoying, if not worse, than Princess Elizabeth, and that made him a target. So that's the difference.
Do you think that made him fairly a target or unfairly a target in your opinion?
It's a unfairly. I mean, as much as I don't like how he's talked about me, I can 100% agree that he had every right to defend Elizabeth because what the people were doing to her was absolutely ridiculous. Like there were teens and grown adults alike who were like provoking her, like purposefully like trying to get her mad and like live streams and stuff and trying to basically purposely get her mad so she would pop off and like, and it would be put in like a cringe compilation in instances. So
Yeah.
yeah, so 100% like he had every right to defend Elizabeth for what had happened. Like he was in the right for that.
Okay.
So I firmly believe that yeah, he had every right to talk about his story. I just don't like how he talked about me because he's acting like I did worse than I did when I didn't really do that much in comparison to the others.
I see. Okay. And I
Mhm.
guess to also just kind of like include a little bit of this part. So obviously, I if I understand correctly, you didn't go at Heaton because you were asked not to, right? During the whole Fago
Yes,
stuff.
yeah, Chuuli asked me not to because she needed a break from all the stuff that was going on. So I just kept to myself.
That is
So
true.
yes, yes.
Mhm.
So I guess like my question would be because I know you do mention that you didn't like that people were sweeping for Faghost or like defending Faghost around this time. Was there
Mhm.
any particular reason you didn't correct the narrative in that front around that time? I understand. I think a year later you helped Chuuli with their video, but I guess just try to
Mhm.
understand with this time, like what you did, why you didn't.
I think it was because I was still under the mindset of like I didn't want to hurt Chuuli or I didn't want to like cause any more trouble for her. I didn't know if me speaking up would cause like it would be similar to like why I didn't speak up about Heaton. I didn't want to like say anything without her knowing or if she was okay with it because I just didn't want to cause any further hurt to her or to myself because if I like because I was honestly like worried if I started like clapping back it would cause my mental health to get worse as well.
I
So
see.
Would also add that like I mean that's pretty much accurate. I would have been upset if she started fighting with people while I was trying to like be an adult outside of the internet and be like what the fuck is going on outside? Like
yeah.
Yeah, so I guess like my understanding was more of like an honoring a girl code, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it like there was always a want to speak up, but it was never much like a it's something like I actively have a plan to do right now. It was just like it would be
Mhm.
nice to be able to, and that's why when Ponder was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and make a video, and like you guys can like help out," and that's when I was just like, "Oh shit, okay, finally we get to talk behind like someone who like won't get just like fucking laughed out of the room or dismissed."
Mhm.
Right. I mean, fair enough.
Yeah.
I think I guess another question I would have. It would obviously like just be tapping on Ponder a little bit. So
Mhm.
I know like there's always like this question in people's minds with like because everyone was like I think like mind blown about like the DMs they have with Spoctor. Were you
Yeah.
aware of like even like a friendship or were they ever like more defensive of Spoctor behind the scenes to your knowledge? Like anything to indicate that?
Not not that I know of. The only thing I know is that Spoctor rejoined the server, and I had no idea the context behind the scenes whatsoever. I never witnessed personally be defending Spoctor, not that I remember or know of, honestly. It was like he was just there and then he wasn't. He was like barely active and I had just no idea like if there was like anything going on between those two or not. So
Yeah, I would add that like just in case anyone doesn't remember, she was not in the call where Ponder talked about everything that had happened.
Yeah.
I was
I'm pretty sure she was like at school.
yeah, what cuz I was in college. I graduated college in like 2020, so that would have been like I was either at school or I was at work, and Feghost didn't tell me shit either. I double checked that, and Feghost hid it from me, so I had no clue of any of this until it was exposed. So,
Yeah, I didn't say anything because Ponder basically said like drop it, and I was like okay.
I see.
of course, I fucking hate her, dude. Oh my god.
I mean, fair enough. Because I think the only thing that you mentioned with your stuff was like going against the obviously false allegations of Spoctor back in like what 2018 on a
Yeah,
stream.
that was yeah, yeah, I rewatching the video, I don't know if I explained that well, so I can give a bit more context if you want.
Sure.
So what happened was, um, there was like some rumors going around, and there was a weird vibe going around specifically with Penegrin, right?
Hmm.
Um, so I got somebody contacted me. They go by the name of Satan. That was their handle.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I know, it's very funny. They they contacted me and basically were like telling me that Penegrin was just doing like some really weird, like vague posting stuff, and even posted like an ARG like type video about something coming. And I'm not and I'm not kidding. It was like a full blown like ARG. I'm talking like Morse code, a computer voice, glitchy visuals. It was like the whole nine yards. It was fucking cringy as shit.
Yeah.
um, so Satan got in contact with me and told me everything that was going on, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Because I didn't know. It's like I didn't know what was going on, and then obviously like we dug through the ARG and we're like digging through like Penegrin's post and realized that it had something to do with Spoctor, and I think it was specifically the journal about the contest that was referenced in the 2018 thing. So we were like, okay, this is insane. Like, there's like no evidence to prove this stuff. Like, something isn't adding up here. So I was already on the side of like, this seems suspicious. So when the videos came out, well, firstly, I thought this was going to be about like some drama shit, like this that was like par for the course around that time. But then when it came out that there were accusations of him being like a sexual predator, I was like, holy fuck, what is going on? But then when B jumped in and was like, "Hey, this shit's not making any sense. I'm gonna look into it." That's when I offered to live stream the stuff that we had found at the time on my channel and just went over it. And that's
Yeah.
what led to the whole like shit with like my IRL friends like berating me over text messages because they thought I was like covering for a sexual predator and all this stuff when the allegations were I at the time I thought were false.
Well, those
And
allegations at the time, I think, were false. To be fair.
yeah, they were 100% false. Like there was no mention of like the real victim like at all. So technically, yes, we were correct. It was just, but there was also the fact that Ponder was a fucking idiot and didn't actually look into the real thing that happened. Pendergren and Stories didn't either. So,
Yeah.
so
I guess like
yeah.
another thing, just for context sake, for definitely the viewers in chat. So with Ponder, how did you actually ever have like a run-in with Ponder? Like, how did you guys go from like they covered your drama to friends? I guess.
So it was because of Chuuli, funny enough. So what happened was like she made her videos on me. I apologized in the comment section of that video. People were getting on my ass for it, saying that I hit an all new low for apologizing. I wish I was joking.
Yeah.
Um, so I did all that, and then it wasn't like right away. I think because I was still kind of shaken up by like all that had happened, I was kind of keeping distance. But I think I like messaged Ponder in on like DeviantArt, like I just like private messaged her on DeviantArt about advice on how to make comics or something, and it was pretty neutral. It wasn't until like Chuuli like contacted me and we like started talking that she asked, either she asked to be or asked if I wanted to be a part of like Ponder's like a Discord server, and that's how we became friends.
So you more became friends with Ponder via Fiendish Cavern, or was this a different server?
It was Fiendish Cavern.
Yeah, I was in Fiendish Cavern. I had reached out to her clown, and after my video came out, I basically asked her like, "Hey, do you want to like be friends on Discord?" And she was like, "Oh, sure." And then like at a certain point, I was hanging out with Ponder in Fiendish Cavern, and I probably, because this happened a lot, it got to the point where I was like, "Oh my god, there's fucking Klownteeth. Let's add her in. Can we add her? Like, do you want to add her?" And Ponder would be
Mm-hmm.
like, "Yeah."
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
like yeah, I mean obviously. Okay, so then I guess would Fiendish Cavern also be the same place that you guys met Feghost, or how did that happen?
Feghost
It
and Con already knew each other.
yeah, we already knew each other. It wasn't through Fiendish Cavern.
I see.
I
Okay.
met Feghost through Fiendish
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Trying to think if I had any other questions at the top of my head.
Cavern. I don't mean to like answer for her.
No, I mean it's fine. Like you obviously
Fine.
like have some context too. Obviously, that's why I reached out to both of you. Trying to think.
Bestie.
Yeah, no worries. So wait, you said that you were already friends with Vegas before Fiendish Cavern Clown, or
Yeah, we met in 2018, like I said in the video.
right?
It was, and the friendship was just gradual from there. I met them because of Junkie, because of Junkie and Spoctor, because they already had like a friend circle at the time. It was Junkie, Spoctor, Indiangelo. I don't know if there were like other people, but I remember those three specifically, and they already had their own circle, and I just got invited into it. So that's how we met. Um,
Fair enough. Is there any questions you had, Shuli, at the top of your head, or no?
I know.
Okay, fair enough. Is there anything you would like to say before I end off this conversation, Clown?
just that I'm genuinely sorry for the mishap or like my misspeak in the video. I didn't intend to cause any harm, and I apologize if it like caused any confusion or if it like affects anybody's viewpoint on my role in the situation. I've already apologized to Chuuli like numerous times for my inaction, and I hope that I did enough to make up for all that I did. I know I messed up in a lot of aspects when it comes to this, so
I
um
I'm not sweating it. I already like nipped the misinformation in the bud. I showed like I think the only people who genuinely think at this point that like we knew Fagos had like CP and we're just like fine with. I genuinely think that they would drown in a foot of water.
yeah, figures as much.
Okay.
um
So I think like one thing I would definitely like suggest, because I know you were like putting it up into interpretation. If you were to talk about Ponder, I would recommend a video format. Because I think that that would be very interesting to dive into that kind of aspect, and I think a video would definitely be the best way to execute that.
Yeah, I need to, if people are interested, yeah, I do definitely want to talk about my drama again and kind of recontextualize it. But it just I just it's not going to be anytime soon because this situation or just making this video alone took a lot out of me. So I just need to be in a better headspace to make these types of videos clearly. So
Yeah.
it will happen. It just won't be for a long while because I'm definitely rusty and I'm just I'm just nervous and anxious like all the time when it comes to talking about this stuff. And
Well, I'd rather the
need
video
time.
be airtight. So yeah, take your time.
Yeah. It'll definitely happen. I don't know if I'll do like a stream preview of it. I thought about doing a stream, but if a video is better, then I'll definitely consider it.
Yeah, I'll definitely be able to execute like the points way better, I feel.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that would be it. I genuinely really appreciate I know we don't talk much, so I appreciate you accepting this and giving me your time.
Yeah.
So yeah, if I need you again, I'll just reach out to you, all right?
Okay, no problem. Thank you for reacting to my video. I hope it wasn't too cringy.
It was something. But yeah. All right. Well,
Yes.
you have a good day, Clown. Okay?
Thank you.
All right, talk to you later.
Goodbye.